the one, the only, Bencio. Good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun to lead on. We're back with Shulchan Aruch Yomi after a 3-day hiatus. We're doing Simon Reish Ted Zayin 216. Hilchos Berachos HaPeiros, really talking about a new type of bracha. Berachos HaReach, we're smelling something. There's 4 main brachos to make, right? If it's a general smell, right, that comes from an animal, let's say, and you make, or chemicals, I said in the main shir, that like a cologne or perfume, most cologne perfumes are chemicals, or the minority comes from natural ingredients, so therefore the correct bracha is bar minus summit. If it comes from atzvei b'summit, it comes from the grass or a plant that degenerates during the winter, then it's itzvei b'summit. If it's from a plant that is stable through the winter, does not degenerate through the winter, then it would be atzvei b'summit. It's actually a fruit, and it's bore anosan reach tov peiros. There's actually a fifth bracha, shemen arev. You have shemen persimmon oil. I said maybe aloe vera oil. You'd make a specific bracha on that. The Gemara says that. I want to talk today about halacha beis over here, where let's say you have a fruit, right? If you have a fruit, if you picked up the fruit to eat it, and then you happen to smell it, you smell it has a great smell. An esrog, let's say, not on sukkah. That's machlokas on sukkahs whether you can make a bracha or not. But after sukkahs is over, if you picked it up to smell, you make a bracha. If you picked it up to eat it, I don't know, you eat it, you want to eat the jelly or something like that. The correct bracha to make, there is no bracha. You don't make a bracha, even though you smell it. You have a smell. You smell it good, and you know you're going to smell something good. You picked it up to eat it. You don't make a bracha. The only time you make a bracha, you picked it up either both to eat it and smell it, or just to smell it. For some reason, as opposed to eating something, right? If I pick something up to smell it and then I just eat it, I have to make a bracha before I eat it, right? Smelling is different. Why is smelling different? Because I mentioned in the regular share, smelling is actually unique, one of the senses. The other 4 senses really are distorted by, the Yetzer Hara. That's what the Zohar and Kabbalists say. Your sight, you can't really see. What you see is not really the truth, You can't really see the truth. You see, a remez, a hint of what something really is through what you see, perceive. Your feel is not exactly, you're not feeling exactly the truth. Once the sin of Eitz Hadas happened, we don't have the correct sense of feel. Hearing and tasting aren't real. But smell was never affected. The sense of smell was never affected. So it's interesting. All the other senses, if it happens haphazardly, you feel something, right? If by accident your hand just brushes against something, you feel it. You feel something. Maybe you don't feel the actual what it really is in reality, but you feel something. However, a lot of times you smell things, you just walk on. Like smell, it doesn't really affect you. But when you do intend to smell something, you take a flower and you smell it. Flowers smell good. You didn't know that. Buy some flowers for your wife and then smell it before you give it to her. Or more familiar to most people, perfume. Or if you're a man, and you're a real man and you wear cologne, because real men wear cologne. You always wear cologne. I mean, come on. You have good colognes, expensive colognes. It's fun to have cologne. So these things that you put on to smell, you have to intend to smell them. If I put on cologne, right, and it smells good to me, I don't make a bracha, right? But if I go like that, then I do make a bracha. According to me, I believe that chemicals, you would make a bracha, especially if it's an expensive cologne, which probably comes from natural products, natural flowers and natural herbs and scents. So if it comes from that, we learned in Simon Zion that you would make a bracha on it. So I think even chemicals are similar to, why is it chemicals any worse than an animal? A smell that comes from a musk, which comes from a deer, you make bar mitzvah summon. So any cologne, you should make bar mitzvah. But when you just smell it, the reason is because it's interesting that it wasn't affected by Yetzer Hara, but it was partially affected by eating from the Eitz Hadas, is that a person will never enjoy smell casually. You don't enjoy smell casually. It might, be nice to smell something casually. But when you inhale something, like you consciously smell something, then you really enjoy it. You can only really enjoy smell if you consciously do it. That's why the halacha is, when you pick up something to eat it and you happen to smell it, you didn't enjoy it. You didn't enjoy that smell. Only when I picked it up to smell, then I'm focusing on it. Like we talked about Berachos Hanenin, the whole purpose, you're holding in your right hand and you want to make the bracha while you're holding it is to focus on it because you get the most enjoyment. Obviously, you can enjoy even if you don't pick it up, you just go and bob apples and you eat it. You're going to enjoy the apple. However, um, the complete enjoyment that the Berach Sanen is supposed to be, you're supposed to get complete enjoyment, and that's why the bracha, you're supposed to hold it and you're supposed to focus on it. And by smell, it's even more important that if you don't intend to actually smell the thing, you don't make a bracha, even though you benefited from it, because by smell, it's even more so. You don't really enjoy the smell unless you focus on it. By food, you'll enjoy it because that's part of the Yetzer Hara. We're fooled anyway, so the Yetzer Hara wants you to enjoy it because it doesn't really care because you're not really in the real enjoyment over here. But smell, since it was unaffected by Yetzer Hara, so therefore you could actually enjoy something in its natural form. But the Yetzer Hara affected is that most people don't realize this. They don't realize they have a sense of smell. I remember when I first got married to my wife, we used to go to grocery shopping at Shari Ravacha. It's the cheap supermarket in Yerushalayim. I stopped going there now. I want to travel all the way to Yerushalayim and pack up the car with 100 bags of groceries, and you spend so much more buying all this nonsense that you see on the shelves. Come on. Even though it's supposedly half the price of the Makola, the convenience store across the street, after a couple of years that I stopped, and I'm not going, waste one night of my week, come home at 12 o'clock and be starving and carry all these bags up the stairs. No, I just buy what I need every day at the Makola. I go to the convenience store like 3 or 4 times a day. Buy exactly what I need. What do I need for today for lunch? What do I need for dinner? I buy it. So, but we used to go, and my wife, she liked, before she bought laundry detergent, she would open up and smell all of the laundry detergent, or she'd buy softener. She smells all of them, and I was like, what? I mean, like, I wouldn't even like, but she would like smelling. She enjoyed it. She had a really good. My wife has a really good sense of smell. So, but she really, even if you opened up 5 different detergents, okay, they all smell okay, not really great. But she has a very keen sense of smell, so she used to smell all the I still remember that from our days. I think she misses that, not going to the supermarket. So she had a very keen sense of smell. So especially when you take it to enjoy it, you smell it, and probably should make a bracha technically because she's intending to enjoy it, I didn't tell her that because I didn't really understand these halachas properly. But these are really important halachas over here. And if you intend to smell something and you consciously do it, then you'll enjoy it completely. And if you don't intend, you probably won't enjoy it at all. So that's what I like to say about these halachas. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.